Morning, everybody. Moving cows up to the front of the lease pasture here where there's a bunch of buildings and corrals, and is an area that used to be lawn mowed all the time. So really short grass, kind of turf grass, a lot of clover, a lot of alfalfa, really good stuff. The cows grazed it once already this year, and they could probably stand to be rested a little bit longer, but I need to get some work done on that overgrown area that they're in, kind of like you guys saw in the last video. Need to get some work done over the next day or two, and I can't really do that while the cows are back here and have access to it. And I also need to buy a few more days too, because that work's going to take me at least a day cleaning it up to stretch a new brake fence, and the cows are starving. They need to be moved, so I'm just going to kind of throw them up there close to the barn and stuff behind me, just to buy some more time. So what's up, kids? Come on, girls. Come on, mama. I got good stuff for you. Hey, girls. Hey, girls. Good girls. Come on, kiddos. Come on, girls. I think they're going to be super. I think they know where they're going. They're going to be super happy to get up into this area. Really good stuff. Young, tender forages. So let's see if we. Who is that? Come on, Ab. Hey, girls. Gotta love calm cows, man. Kids. There we go. There we go, mama. Come on, buddy. Hey, girls. Come on, mama. Good mama. Come on, you two. Hey. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Hey. What's up, mama? You're looking big. Flip around there, kid. Come on. There you go. Good girl. So this is the area that I was showing in the last video that I was just kind of moving them into. They did a good job. There's more standing in this area than I thought there would be, just from trample. I mean, I knew a lot of this stuff they wouldn't be eating it because it's not palatable to them. Overall, I'm super happy. They obviously cleaned up these trees here really well, and this will make it a lot easier to get the brush hog back here, the tractor and the brush hog back here. There is a deep ravine that runs along this whole tree line. So I was always very nervous, particularly this time of year, to bring the tractor back here where I couldn't really see where I was going because, you know, at any moment the ground kind of dropped off. So this will make it really easy. As you can see, there's some undiscovered treasures, some artifacts from the original owner of this place. As you can see in front of me, a lot of potential grazing, but just very overgrown. Again, my biggest problem is this tree line, very severe ravine drop off to the point that I wouldn't even want to allow the cows access to that. I would fear that they would actually fall down in there. The grazing of the trees and the bushes and all the stuff that's growing in that ravine line is not worth the stress and the sleepless nights that I would have knowing that there could be a potential problem, let alone the fact that, you know, the fence, the property line for this pasture runs along here. Once it crosses that ravine right there, you know, the ground dips down and the fence just stays straight. So if they were to actually get down in that ravine and be okay, they could travel underneath that fence. And if they got back to this wooded area, they would disappear. There's nothing back there to stop them from continuing north and ending up on the neighbor's property. So I also want to keep them out of the ravine for that reason. So basically what I have going on the rest of today and probably a little bit tomorrow is I need to take chainsaws and you know, weed whackers and stuff like that, and I need to cut a nice line along the brush, along the ravine, a nice line through the brush, along the ravine embankment, essentially, you know, and carve it all the way to the permanent perimeter fence that they have. So I have a clear area to run my temporary perimeter fence. So like I said, they were up here already once, and this fence line, there's actually two fence lines, old one here, and then there's like a corral system up there. You couldn't see these pine trees back there. I mean, just walls of giant ragweed tracing this whole square, all this fence line. You can kind of see a little bit up here of what it was looking like beforehand, stuff that they couldn't get to because it was too tall, which I'm actually going to come through and bend this all over by hand so they can get to these leaves. But, you know, just picture what you're seeing right here, as tall, as high, covering the entire fencing system around here. And then on the other side, closer to the house. So landowner was more than happy to let the cows up here and really clean this up. Yeah, all this giant ragweed here will be, I'm gonna fold it over so this time through they're gonna eat it all down, really help finish cleaning it up. But it's a nice little, you know, this was all of this was after when the new landowner came through, the one who currently owns it. All of this was just lawn mowed all the time. So very, like I said, very short turf grass, young palatable stuff. It does get pretty weedy because the previous landowner was set stocked with Percheron horses, so giant Clydesdale looking horses. This is where they spent all winter. This is where he fed hay. So there is a lot of this, you know, weedy, broadleafy type stuff, as well as a good amount of alfalfa that was coming off of the hay he used to feed. But they love it, man. The cows, you know, in this form, the cows will absolutely demolish stuff like this. And I've said it a million times, they love the short turf grasses. So they're gonna have a heyday up here. I'm hoping I can get, you know, I'll probably get 2 days out of this. And hopefully maybe even another graze before the cows move out of here. So pull them off this chunk before they overgraze it too bad. And then give them maybe another 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks, if I can get 2-3 weeks out of the pasture back here that needs to regrow. Let this stuff build back up with rain and cooler temperatures, and then get one more graze out of here before they go home. You know, I use this corral system to get the cows loaded, kind of use the natural fence lines here, back the trailer up. So they have to be up here anyway to get them loaded to take them back home. So get some good grazing out of it. But it's a win-win, right? Win for the cows because they love this stuff. It's super healthy for them, a lot of good diversity. Win for the landowner because her property gets cleaned up, stuff that she's not able to take care of. This will all be gone by the end of today or tomorrow. And then win for me because I needed to give the cows someplace to go for a few days while I prepped their next move back there. What do you think, Mama? Good alfalfa, huh? Probably wish we had more alfalfa on the home place. I'm with you. Gotta love the cows getting the diversity. A little bit of everything out here. Keeps them healthy. Keeps the grasslands healthy. Keeps them fat, right? Look at you. Fat Abby. Dang. That's her bull calf down there just eating on a huge pile of alfalfa. That's awesome. All right, cows are done up there, up by the buildings. They hammered it pretty good. Took out a lot of the grasses and the big weeds, like the giant ragweed and stuff. I wanted them to clean up around the fence line. They took that all out. So they were on there for 2 days and just moved them back here. I would have gotten video, but I had to bring my bucket of treats with me because we had to pass through that big pasture that we've already grazed once that was starting to regrow. So I had my arms full of treats, but they followed me pretty nice. They're super pumped to be over here now. What's up, girly? Hi, buddy. Come on, girls. You're good. Come on, bud. I really hope this doesn't turn out to be a disaster. In the years past, I've used that hot wire to keep them totally out of this overgrown area. But like I said, I need to get as many grazing days as possible. Come on, Mama. I need to get as many grazing days as possible. Partly because obviously we're trying to build, come on, kiddo. Trying to build up as much of the stockpile pastures at home as we can before we, like I said, officially start going into feeding stockpile, trying to minimize our hay feeding days. But also, and I know I keep saying this, I'll touch on it in another video. I'm sure this video is already going to get too long, but pregnancies. So one of the big things is, you don't want to haul cows a certain amount of days after conception, just because there's a higher likelihood with hauling, with stress, with handling, that they will, that they'll slip, that they'll spontaneously abort that pregnancy. And so you want to give them, a lot of the publications I read say at the very minimum 45 days, but, even 60 to 90 days is kind of recommended. So we still have some time before we hit those days. And I really, I'm going to have to get as many days out of this lease pasture as I can. We did have some rain yesterday, which is great. That's going to help get the stuff that we've already grazed regrowing. Unfortunately, it also made the flies explode. So it had been pretty dry. Like I said, they've been going into overdrive during the daylight hours because they know that winter's coming. But, flies need some moisture to reproduce, to successfully have their larvae hatch in manure. They need to have some moisture. So we finally got some rain. It just seems like the flies have exploded. There's a lot of thistle in this back chunk, and a lot of it too is yet to flower. So a lot of this stuff will be opening up pretty soon, putting on a nice purple flower. And so I'm sure the cows are gonna be going crazy eating all these purple flowers, which would be great. Stop these thistles from spreading. So I am really excited to see how this whole area is going to look after, I'm thinking I really want to keep them on here for a week. I don't think I'm going to get a week out of it, but at the very least, they're going to get 4 or 5 days out of this. So by the end of 4 or 5 days, I'm really excited to see how this whole area looks going back to that ravine. So it's all about trying to increase my grazing acres. And that was one thing that I knew when I took over this lease. It's a 16 acre chunk of land. But honestly, by the time you take away the house and the buildings and the yards, and then all of this timber that's back there behind Mac there, I think it only ends up being about 6 to 7 acres worth of grazable pasture right now. So, hi kid. So yeah, again, I'm paying for 16 acres essentially, but I'm only right now only able to graze about 6 to 7 acres. So every year kind of open up a little bit more. They do love their trees. What's up, mama? Are you pregnant, mama? I hope you are. All right, guys, that's it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks about any of this stuff, leave them down below. And any suggestions for future videos. I kind of doing these just kind of random update, here's what I'm doing videos are great, but when you're only running so many cows on so many acres, it starts to get pretty repetitive. So if you guys have anything specific you'd like me to try and make a video on, feel free to leave comments down below. Like I said, otherwise check me out on Instagram at WR_ranch. There's a lot more kind of little updates, maybe not daily, but every couple of days out there. So all right, we'll catch you guys in the next one.